Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of the Shooting Show, and this is certainly my lovely wife, Heather. And we are indeed proud and thankful to be here today because, friends, not many of you know out there what a struggle it is to put this program on the air. You know, we talk about all kinds of guns from this revolver, and of course I have here our Kimber Shooting Show gun. Finest example of a 1911 or a semi-automatic pistol of a production line that I have ever seen. And yes, we are Kimber wholesalers. We can sell Kimbers to dealers. We can also sell to individuals. We have to just ship them with your FFL or someone's FFL. We'll be happy to. Yes, a couple of folks have ordered our Shooting Show models, and we do appreciate it so much. We don't make very much money on them, but you know what? Every dime that we make on these Kimbers or anything else that we sell on the program, every dime we get goes toward keeping this project on. You know what, friends, many times I talk about, and I've said before, I don't always like asking for money, but the problem is I have given all I had, and there are so many people. You know, I was talking to someone, a good friend of mine, professional person the other day, has a good practice, and he was so afraid that he was so afraid he might lose some interest on some CDs. I was trying to raise some money for the project. And you know, some of these folks out here with money are so conservative, they're so skinflint, so tight, that it doesn't matter if the ship is going down or the house is burning, they're not gonna dip into their pockets for 10 cents. Now these same people, you know, will moan and groan and cry and carry on about how we're losing our rights, how we don't have the liberties that we used to have. And some of those folks in their 60s and 70s are saying, yeah, look what's happened. At the same time, they're not willing to join in the battle to turn this around. Now, we have something exciting to tell you about today, friends. Last Sunday on our radio program, and yes, we are fired up. Heck, it's down to 100. Didn't you look on the thermometer a few minutes ago?
Yeah, it's a mere 100 degrees down here in Beverly.
So it actually feels like we've had a cool front. This is no joke. We got a little shade on the range, and it feels like it's about 10 degrees cooler than it was. Anyway, here nor there, we have something exciting to tell you about. You know what, friends? How long have we been saying if we could just hold on, if we could stay on the air, if we could just keep on making the effort as gun owners who are not going to let the government, the New World Order people, take our guns away from us. And we have held on here for years, literally for years. And you know, we hear from a lot of other folks around the country, and people tell me constantly, well, I'm so discouraged. I'm so discouraged. I don't think there's any hope. There's nothing we can do. The battle's over with. We just need to find our hole and crawl in it and try and keep our heads down and keep our stuff, you know, our ammunition, our gold. That's true. Well, there's nothing wrong with having quite a bit of ammunition, actually.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with having some food put back. Nothing wrong with that. Fresh water supplies, that's true. But you know what, friends? We've been saying there's hope the whole time. And on last Sunday's radio show, we had none other than a genuine U.S. Senator named Bob Smith from New Hampshire. Now then, hopefully with some of you, the words Bob Smith will ring a bell. Bob Smith is the same man who in the Senate, which typically is not gun friendly, he got a bill passed, an amendment passed in the Senate that will prevent the FBI from attaining our firearms numbers, our registration this fall. Now, not only did he introduce it, he got it passed with a veto-proof majority in the Senate. The same old crowd was against him, but let me tell you what else.
Oh, who was that same old crowd?
Well, you had the Kennedys, you had Lautenberg, you had
Wait a minute, what about NRA?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
That's right. Very fine point here that I would like made.
Well, you've heard me get on the NRA. We've done it justifiably so. And I've gotten some mail. Some of our viewers have written me saying, Johnny, you can't get on the NRA. Well, you know what, friends? If the train is going down the wrong track, Isn't it time to stop the train and turn this thing around? The NRA was there on site in the Senate. They had their whole crew up there. And guess what? They didn't want Senator Smith to put forward this bill. They were saying, oh, we can't pass this. Well, you know what? The NRA cannot pass it. Because I don't know what their deal is. I'm beginning to wonder. And I'll let them come on the show and dispute me. I'll let them if we can stay on the air. You know, they wish our show would go away because, who knows why, because we're a thorn in their side. I don't care. The thing is, the NRA made an attempt to derail this amendment. Senator Smith also had a part of this thing to take away the fee. Now, see, they're talking about charging you and I, every time we buy any gun, per gun, talking about charging us from $13 to $15, maybe $25 per this next check where we have to get permission from the government to buy a gun. Now listen at this. He got it passed. Senator Smith got it passed with a veto-proof majority. And here sat the NRA said, oh no, we can't do this.
You can't do that. The NRA said you can't do that.
You know, somebody called me this week and they said, Johnny, do you think that some of the leadership at the NRA maybe have sold out to the other side?
Well, that's exactly my feeling.
They only pay Wayne LaPierre $200,000 a year. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough for him to do his job?
I hope they do well.
You know,
and
also there's some other very high-paid people up there, and we don't know what to do. Do you know, friends, that the NRA has not passed, has not gotten a single piece of pro-gun legislation passed since years ago, the Voting in McClure Act, years ago. And we keep sending, all of us, I've helped raise money for the NRA. We keep sending them money, millions and millions of dollars. Well, great, they got Charlton Heston now putting his picture on a plate and selling it for $34.95. You want one of those plates, Heather?
Hell no.
Well, we're kind of upset about this, friends, because the NRA has a great organizational past in the past. But right now, they are doing what they do best, and that's compromise.
That's right.
Would you tell me what part of shall not be infringed is not clear?
It can't be compromised upon. That's all there is to it.
It cannot be compromised upon. And here we have Senator Smith from New Hampshire. And you know how they answer the phone up there at his office, his political action committee? They answer the phone, it rings, and they say, live free or die. Guess what, friends? Now, they're talking our language.
That's right.
I don't want to die. I want to live free.
That's right.
I want to live free, just like their state motto of New Hampshire. So the rest of us out here can learn something from this. Guess what? Senator Smith, you know what? We had him on the radio program. He was supposed to stay for about 45 minutes. He wound up staying for an hour and 45 minutes because he was talking. Yes, he was talking to our listeners and answering questions. The phone lines to the station were jammed the entire time. I tell you what, it is wonderful because, you know what? Here is one man that we can get behind with our shooting show, with the other things that we do. I promise you that Gun Owners of America will wind up supporting this man.
That's right.
And even if it gets started, even the NRA compromisers, NRA-C. I think they should add a C to their name.
Add a C to that.
NRA-C. Even they, in fact, they'll get behind. If he does good, they'll take credit for it. You know what? I don't care. I'll let the NRAC take credit for it if they'll help. I don't care. Because, friends, you see what one man has been able to do. Look what Slick Willie King William I has been able to do to our rights. Now, we've got something coming up. He's given an executive order, and he did it overseas. Didn't even do it here in the United States. Didn't tell anybody about it. Slipped it in. That is essentially going to do away with the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. And that is, those rights not specifically delegated to the federal government shall be left up to the states. And Slick Willie himself has written, he and his socialist communist advisors have written some executive order that essentially nullifies the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. You think one man can't do something? What about those federal judges that King William has appointed? What about them? What about all these appointed positions in the FEMA, all NSA, State Department, the Housing Department, all this stuff are his appointees. And you know what? Senator Smith is contemplating a run for the White House. Guess what, friends? This man could do it. There are 70 million gun owners in the United States. If every one of us told 50 people, look, Bob Smith's pro-gun, he's a good man, he's pro-right, he's pro-constitution, he's pro-American for a change. You know, you can find more anti-American government officials in Washington, D.C. than you can in any other capital in the world. Even in Iran, in Iraq, anywhere, put them all together, and you won't have as many anti-American politicians as you have in Washington, D.C. Well, guess what? Our man Smith could go in there, and he'll do it, too. He will clean house, because you know what? He can use those executive powers to wipe out a lot of this trash that's been foisted on us as executive orders. He can do it. And I believe he's a good man. He has a sterling record in voting in the Senate as being a good man. You know what? We're going to try and raise money to stay on the air, because you know what? We're going to have Senator Smith on this program and let you see him and let you hear the things he has to say. Now, right now...
Let you judge for yourself.
Let you judge for yourself. Heck yeah. Let you make the decision. Don't do it because we said so. Let you see the man.
That's right.
Let you hear him. Let's go over his past history, which has been absolutely superior where our interests at saving America are concerned. He wants the United Nations out of the U.S. He wants the United States to get out of the United Nations. Hey, the man sounds like us. He sounds like us. Absolutely, friends. We've got a chance here. But we can't have a chance as long as so many of us good conservatives say, oh, hunker down. Well, I'm going to get, maybe nobody will see me. Maybe somebody get mad at me. You know what? If your neighbors get mad and they're mentally retarded liberals, maybe you can teach them something. Maybe so. You can't care, friends. You're going to have to stand up if we're going to save our country. You're going to have to stand up. And you know, one of the ways that you can stand is here with us on this shooting show. We are the only honest television that is gun related. And simply because the other gun shows, some of them are nice people that do a couple of gun shows, some of them are nice people who do the hunting shows. You know what? If they tell you one word of the conversation we've just had here, they'll be yanked off the air so quick you'll never hear of them again.
That's right, because our media is controlled by the liberals.
Our media is controlled by the liberals. And some of these large gun companies, which should be sponsoring efforts like ours, and especially our effort, they're so afraid they're going to have a government contract yanked away from them. They're so scared, they're so afraid that somebody in government will get mad. Hey, friends, it's come time that we can't worry about the scratches and the bruises. You're going to have to get in this fight. We're going to have to. If you care about our country, if you care about our gun rights, if you care about what happens to your children and their children, you're going to have to get in this fight.
It's time to stand together now, folks.
It is time to stand together now. Now, right now, we are in a, same old thing. A few weeks ago, we asked for a few $1,000s. We didn't get it. We got hundreds of dollars, and you know what? We had enough to get on. And today, we're here the same way. We had just enough to get on the air. Now, friends, we're still here because we won't give up. I don't know if we can be on next week or not. We keep talking about this. Some people out there, let's help Senator Smith. Let's give him airtime. Let's buy him some airtime. Let's get him on the shooting show. They've already said they'd like to have him on our program. Friends, do you realize that you and I, all of us together, we could help start this man's campaign for president. We can light a fire that will spread all over this country. We know we can. That's because, right. My gosh, we've done it for sponsors. For some of our sponsors, words have spread all over the country about some of the people we featured on our show. You think we couldn't do this for Senator Smith? Now, we can't do it by ourselves. We have to have your help to do it. Our budget is tiny as compared to some of the large organizations.
What budget?
What budget?
What budget is he talking about? Would you enlighten me?
our raw satellite time and our raw studio time, the things that we do, the bare minimum, stay on the air. And friends, that's all we can do to stay here.
And we do operate on the bare minimum.
If you'd like, I can prove that to you. Come on down to 327 Urban Rowland Road. Come on down here to the house, and I think you'll agree. But that's okay. We don't mind doing our job. We don't mind, because you know what? We do care about what happens to our country. We care about what happens to our future. Do you care? Are you going to be content to sit by and see very, very few people that watch our program contribute anything at all? Well, you know that old saying, friends, freedom is not free. And let me tell you what, television is not free either. And it's taken everything we have had and what those few people who would contribute. You know, it seems like there are times there'll be $10 come in and somebody sent 25, then somebody sent 50. And then when we'd just be on the very brink of saying, well, we can't go on this week, a couple of hundred would come in. Sometimes we get as much as 500. Some time back, one gentleman sent us $1,000. Well, little did anybody know.
Well, is that the man that owed us for a couple months?
No, that's somebody else. A gentleman sent us $1,000, and nothing came in that week but that $1,000. That's all it was. And we got on the air. You know, we had enough left over, just a couple of hundred more, and we got on the air. And that's how we're here this week. Nobody sent 1,000. But I sure wish you would, because, friends, this fight is too important to give up. You know, we have to have a little humor about this, because I refuse to go around being all upset and whatever. And, you know, I really appreciate the good folks at Kimber for having faith in what we do, because at least they're making guns for us. We can sell their guns. Like I said, we don't make much on them, but it's that much.
Well, we do appreciate it.
We really do. I tell you what, it's a courageous stand by those folks at the Kimber company, at the Kimber plant, actually, who is standing with us on this. And we appreciate everyone who has helped. And please, whatever you can send, friends, this is not a joke, because this is how we stayed here, coming to you and telling you what it's about. TV is not free. There's nothing in reality that's ever free in life, nothing at all. And television is certainly not free. And maybe one day we'll have enough sponsors to keep us on the air. Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. But I know this. I know it's important enough to come to you and say, look, we have to do this. We have to get our message out. And we actually have a chance at turning this entire mess our country's in around. If we could get a man like Bob Smith in the White House, we have to help him. We have to. That's one of the jobs we have here on this program.
Well, we already have a good example of what's going to happen if we don't attempt to get Bob Smith in the White House, because look at how Slick Willie has run all over us.
Look what he's done. And
that's right.
And you know what he has in mind for us? Look what the Canadians, and I'm sorry, we have a lot of Canadian viewers up there. We hear from occasionally. They write to us. And I'm sorry what's happened to you folks there. You know, I'm sorry. Maybe if we don't turn it around here, you'll never turn it around in Canada. We hear from people in Australia that are watching our show on the internet, and they're saying, you know, they've taken everything we've gotten away. People are afraid in their homes in Australia because they can't defend themselves. They're losing everything that goes bang over there. In our own country, did you know that in New Jersey, you have to have a permit from the state police to buy any gun? A permit just to buy a gun. Even a BB gun.
Even a BB gun.
Even a BB gun. I talked to a black powder manufacturer the other day. They have a couple of black powder models. They said, you know, every black powder gun that they're manufacturing for the entire year of next year is sold out going to England, because those people have had their guns taken away. Apparently, they can still own some black powder revolvers. Now, friends, I don't want to see it come to that here. We're definitely going to do some more black powder stuff.
Well, that'd be better than a slingshot.
You bet it would. You bet it would. But you know what, friends? Black powder guns in defense of our country, in defense of our liberty, would be hard-pressed to keep up with modern firearms. They would be hard-pressed to do it. And eventually, the black powder guns will be taken away, too. You're already having to register the inline black powder rifles. So, friends, let me tell you what. If you can, we desperately need your help. If you can send whatever you got, whatever you can, if you can help us stay on air, because look, the large sporting interests, they're afraid to help us. So many of the organizations, they take in money, they don't help anybody. They just got their own suction of money there. If you can help us stay on the air, we are the Shooting Show. And you know, I say we, because everybody who has sent money to this project, you know, you can pat yourselves on the back and say, hey, I'm part of the shooting show.
That's right.
Because you are. Without you, we would not be here today. And you are part of the shooting show effort. Now, you trust me on this one. If you can, send whatever you can to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Beverly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. If you can call us and help sponsor our program, please do. Please call us. Area 318-377-5189. Friends, we are here against seemingly impossible odds. But you know, when people won't quit, and I'm including you on this, those of you viewers out there who care, when you won't quit, you can never be defeated if you won't quit. And we're not going to quit. I don't know if we can stay on the air or not, but we're not going to quit. Please, please help us if you can. We have a great show for you today. In fact, I'm going to ask you to do a little demonstration for us here in a minute. And let's start off the program with our shooting show kimber. You know, we have these in compact and in the full-size model like this. We have them in stainless steel. We have all kinds of kimber. We can sell the entire line, but the shooting show guns are really special. And we've got a volunteer water bottle here. And let's go ahead and get started with another shooting show. Y'all friends, one of the great things about the 1911 design is it is a natural pointing machine. And you know, when you have a handgun, if you ever need it, you're going to probably have to use it very quickly. You know, friends, we're going to make a little addendum to our intro here. We have our great shooting show kimbers, which, of course, the shooting show guns that you order from us, they retail for the compact model and for the full-size model. They retail at $699, and actually, that's a tremendous price for what you get. Each one of these guns that you order from us, the shooting show guns, are going to come with a signed target by me and 100% checked out by me inside and out. So I don't anticipate we'll sell a lot of these, but if someone wants to display their support of the shooting show with these fine kimber guns, you certainly can. Also, if you're a dealer out there and you'd like to order some kimbers, they've been real hard to get in the past because there's been such a demand. The factory has made us a special arrangement where we can ship you kimber guns, the entire lineup there. So anyway, a while back, I did a shot at here our 100-yard range. We shot a gun, a 44 Magnum revolver that was super accurate, had a very fine trigger. I shot the disc down there with this mirror, or another mirror anyway. And friends, you know, it's a little more difficult shooting a gun through a mirror because you have to line your sights up backwards. So I was talking to Heather last night. I said, you know, those kimbers are so accurate. I believe we could probably do that, make a mirror shot at 100 yards with the kimber. So, heck, let's give it a shot. Let's try it. And yes, it is nice and warm out here today. I'll tell you what, it's going to be 105 here today. So, yeah, we're definitely dressed for the heat. Let's see what it looks like. First of all, see if I can do it. Friends, here they are, the prettiest 1911s I've ever seen. Of course, the full-size model with the rosewood grips on these particular guns. They come with black grips, but the shooting show and Johnny Rowland signature model here of the full-size kimber and the compact model. I tell you what, you'll be pleased if you like semi-automatic pistols. This is the best. I tell you what, friends, it's hot out here, and trust me, you got to have a super accurate gun and a super good trigger to be able to do a 100-yard shot in the mirror. These cameras are really impressive. Well, you might say, well, the full-size model's fine. We know it'll shoot. What about the compact model, the minigun? Well, let's see if I can stand the heat. Let's do it. 100 yards shooting the Kimber compact shooting show gun in a mirror. Well, friends, the compact will do it too. Let's go on with our program.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nozzler bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Tell you what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
Now, friends, we want to remind you that Georgia Arms has a fantastic collection of different cartridges, but now they have the 45 double action Colt cartridge in stock. Remember, this is the full-size Colt cartridge case with the Schofield rim, which will give you much better extraction on many lever action rifles, better ejection out of the double action revolvers and the Schofields, and also will be a great advantage in getting it out of the sizing die. Remember, on the 45DA Colt, the RCBS shell holder is the same as for the 7mm Remington Magnum. The Dillon reloading shell holder or reloading machine shell holder is the same for the 45 Colt. So this is really exciting. Please give them a call today, 1-800-624-6861. Try our new cartridge. Certainly they have our 41 Magnum Defense Special. And please tell them you saw it here on our program.
You know, ladies, I'd like to address you and our audience today because a lot of you are heads of households. Many of you have to take care of your own families. We're important to many people. We're important to our families, our children, our parents. neighbors, co-workers, and unfortunately, we're the ones that are prey to predators. And we'd like to address that today, talking about firearm safety and the competent use of firearms. You know, the first choice for a lot of people for protection is a shotgun, but I'd like you to consider the fact that a shotgun is a little cumbersome when you're trying to investigate a problem in your home. Try doing a shotgun with a flashlight in your hand to investigate a barking dog or, you know, some noise in the house. Or maybe you've got a baby in your arms and, you know, you're trying to handle this cumbersome gun. I think shotguns are great, but there are a little more practical firearms to use. Another point I want you to consider when you're using a long arm in your home for self-defense is when you're approaching a doorway, there may be somebody on the other side. And if they grab that muzzle before you can knock them in the head with that muzzle, who's going to win in this situation?
You don't want to be wrestling with an intruder.
That's right.
We saw a movie the other night where someone knocked someone in the head with a firearm.
Yeah, Quigley and Down Under did it great.
Yeah, but that's not real life.
That's not real life, folks.
You don't want someone to grab. See, you're holding on and grabbing the gun. This is not a position you want to be in.
No, if your adrenaline's flying and your heart's pumping and your adrenaline's got your body in a...
And somebody has hold of your gun, you're in real trouble then.
That's right. A better approach is to stay clear of the edge of the doorway, keep your arm close to your side, and keep your gun back for stability. That way you're clear of the doorway, and you have a chance to find the perpetrator instead of the perpetrator taking you off guard. My personal choice is the Ruger SP101 357 Magnum. For those of you that are not accustomed to shooting, you could always start out with the 38 Special light load, and then you could progress up to the more powerful 357 Magnum load. A more powerful gun that I enjoy shooting is the Ruger 41 Magnum. And you might want to consider this option too. Now that particular load is going to be a little much for some of you, but that's why we designed the 41 Defense Special load made by Georgia Arms. Another gun I like to use is the Kimber Compact Model 45, mainly because my hand is smaller. The main thing to remember is that a semi-automatic requires a lot more instruction, a lot more practice, and you have to keep your wrist locked in order for it to function properly.
Well, friends, this is something we want to do just especially for the ladies because, you know, you see, Heather is 5'4", a petite person, and yet with practice, see, she's gotten to the point she can handle these large magnums, the 45, the 357 Magnum, but you know, we started her out on the 38 Special, even the 22, and got her comfortable with shooting, with ear protection and eye protection, of course. I tell you what, we've got to have the women with us on this cause. You know, too many of the women, the soccer moms, these people have helped keep people like Bill Clinton in office and keep these people in power. And I tell you what, if you get these women out and show them how these guns work, 9 times out of 10, they're going to become enthusiasts. So this is something we really want to encourage. It has to be done. You want to demonstrate that 41 again?
Sure. One thing I'd like to say to the ladies in our audience is that being able to handle a firearm and protect yourself is very empowering. It's a very empowering feeling to know that you can take care of yourself. Because, you know, my husband Johnny isn't always around to take care of me, and I've got to take care of business at home, and I'm able to do that. And it feels good. Just like that.
Now, friends, it's important. Something we're going to show you here in the shop today that. And I want to remind you, this is our compact shooting show Kimber. Remember, you can get them from us here at the program. This and the full-size model are both $6.99. They come in blue and stainless. You can get your choice of grips and things. Stainless is going to be a little more, of course, but the blue models start with adjustable sights, like on this shooting show Kimber compact, at 45 ACP, $6.99 retail. So we'll be very pleased. And we've had a few folks order these guns. We really appreciate your orders on it. Just a couple of folks have, in fact. Okay, something that's very important, though, on any handgun. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this today. We're going to unload and take our magazine out, and we want to be sure that the gun is unloaded. And typically, I check them 3 times. I want to be sure that chamber is empty. Always take your magazine out first, because you might actually check it if you got a loaded magazine and you see there's nothing in the chamber and let it go. Well, it loads itself. So it's very important to always take the magazine out of the gun first and then check the chamber to be sure it's unloaded. Now then, something I want to show you on the 1911s and other semi-automatics too, for that matter, but especially on 1911s, what we're going to look at today. You have 2 screws on each side in the grip, and I'll show you something. And so let's see if we can come in a little bit closer on these grip screws. These are small screws that hold the grips on the gun, and you don't want to over tighten them. You just want them tight. The grip's not going to fall off. If you lose a screw, they're easy to get. You're probably not. Every time you clean it or take it to the shop, just check it for tightness. Don't bear down on it, because they're small screws. You can strip them. Another thing that I like to do, I'm going to take this side off, and this is important. A lot of people may clean the outside of the gun, may clean the barrel, but they forget about the bit of metal underneath the grips there. And let's see if we can get it all. These are really good fit. Here we go. But here we go. And this is important because the gun will sweat underneath the grip here from your hand or being handled or being carried. Of course, this is fluid film I've actually got here. You don't want a massive amount of oil on the gun anywhere, but you want a thin film. And something else I want to show you, these are bushings here that go into the frame. These are screws themselves. They're bushings that are threaded, that are fit, and you can check with a wide screwdriver, and you just want to be sure they're tight. Then when you put the grips back on, and this is important, you don't want to over tighten the screws. Start them in there and just get them snug, because remember, these are little tiny screws, little tiny threads, and you want to be sure that you can get the grip off again, because you're going to need to take it off and check for rust or corrosion underneath the grip. It's very common. I've seen some 45s or semi-automatics that look brand new on the outside and took the grip panels off and it was rusted all on the inside there, and that's something that's important. In fact, I spray a little oil, some of our fluid film here, on the screws. I keep a little oil on them so I can get them off. I mean, you don't want to weld them on the gun. You may need to get in and work on it at some point. And like I said, they're small screws. You just want them snug down tight. I've seen people tighten to the point that they crack the grips on wooden grips. I've seen them tighten where the bushing would back out, and that's ridiculous. What you want to do is you just want them tight enough and just snug them up, because you darn sure at some point you're going to need to take them off. So you just want them good and snug where they won't come out of the gun. Okay, something else we're going to show you on revolvers. And again, first drill, check and be sure the gun is unloaded. First thing. And I like to check them 3 times to be sure that cylinder is empty. Okay, something we want to do here. You'll have the same situation on revolvers, and this holds true for stainless as well as blued steel, because the stainless that is used in gun making is more corrosion resistant than blued steel, but it will still corrode if it's not cared for. Some people have a high degree of acid in their skin, and then of course you may get rain on the gun, or get it drop it, or who knows what, or perspiration, or going from a hot building out in the cool air, or vice versa, hot outside in the cool air, and you'll get condensation. So what we want to do, we also want to check our frame under the grip for rust, and our mainspring and all. Now honestly, friends, with this fluid film, it'll almost make blued steel about as nice as stainless. You still have to go back if you've handled a gun and you're sweaty, or you had a lot of perspiration or something. You still need to go back at the end of the day and give it a quick brush down or something with fluid film, or with a cloth with slightly dampened with fluid film. But this is important to be sure you have lubrication, and you don't want a lot. You don't want to gunk up your gun. You don't want oil running all here. You just want a thin film, just enough to protect the metal. And obviously we do, because it's something I do. You want the metal protected, because you'll get all kinds of perspiration, rain stuff down your grip. And the same drill here. When you put the grips back on the revolver, these are rubber pack mirrors here. Go ahead and put them back in place. You don't want to strip the screw out. You've got a little nut on the other side over there that you want to be sure, and I want to be sure I get this done right. You don't want to strip it. You just want it put in place, and you want it good and tight. And this is something I do. I check all the screws on the revolvers. Periodically, the Smith & Wessons, the side plate screws sometimes come loose, and I really wish they would put more Loctite on them, and that's one thing you can do. We recommend the Loctite Blue. It's in a little red container here, but the Loctite Blue, because it won't get completely hard. You can still get the screws out, but it will keep them from vibrating out. Again, you want to check these, periodically check these side plate screws on the Smith & Wesson. And another one, I had the a cylinder release here fall off one of my Smith & Wessons some time ago because I had not checked it. And again, you don't want to strip it, you just want it to be sure it's good and tight. You know, you can break these little screws, and then it's a trip to the gunsmith, or your gun may not function, and just something that we thought we would show you that is important. So please remember that the gun needs to be checked all over, and it's a simple thing to take the grips off and check them if you do it properly.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. Now friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today, NWI, for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod. But these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001.
And friends, we want to remind you that they now have a version in the 50 Browning caliber. It's just a bigger, looks a lot like the 1919 Browning in principle, but it's just a lot bigger. And of course, these are a very, very limited production item, but they do have a few of these that will be available for sale. Tim Barrow and the NWI company have been such great supporters of this project. We really want them to know how much we appreciate their help and support. And friends, we don't know how long these guns are going to be available, so Tim will even work with you. He'll help you break up your payments. They're not that expensive, certainly more than we're used to paying for a rifle or shotgun, but they're not that expensive. So please, if you'd like to have one of these real pieces of American history that are great fun guns, great shooters, give them a call out there. NWI, area 503-429-5001, and please, please tell them you saw it here on our show. Now, friends, you're seeing a very happy young man here sitting on the back of a mule. Actually, the mule's name is Mabel, believe it or not. She looks pretty happy, too. But we were down at the Old West Mercantile. Of course, there's a great Western store here in Bossier City, Louisiana, and they were having a lot of fun. Had some cowboy reenactments, some tombstone-type reenactments down there, and just overall had a lot of fun. Let's watch some of what we shot.
Friends are getting ready for skits here. Here's Randy Towery.
That wide open space, a good place for a lot of y'all to hang out.
This is important. Example of what a blank will do.
1878. In Tombstone, Arizona, this is how Cookie did it. Tombstone, Arizona, with Cookie, Fat Albert. We're supposed to be up there. Yeah. We're just supposed to be mingling around. Now let's go ahead and mingle with.
Come back here, Fat Albert. You owe me $1.
I don't owe you nothing.
Yes, you do. You owe me $1 for breakfast. You woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning to fix you breakfast, and you're not going to pay me?
What you call me fat for? Ain't nobody get fat off that cooking.
Yes, they do, too.
Uh-huh.
I want my
I ain't
$1.
giving you no dollar.
Yes, you are.
You wasn't worth nothing.
Sheriff?
What's going
Sheriff?
on out here? It's too early in the morning for all this commotion.
What do you want?
I want to stop all this commotion that's going on.
You better stop her. You want holler.
What's the problem?
He won't pay me $1 for breakfast. He wakes me up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he wants breakfast. I fixed him breakfast and now he won't pay me.
Ain't worth it.
Did you eat it?
Well, yeah, I ate it, but you burnt the biscuit, you burnt the ham, you didn't cook the egg, you tossed it with the cold. You call that a breakfast?
If you ate it, you got to pay for it.
I ain't paying for nothing.
You got to pay for it.
No, I don't have to pay for it.
If you don't pay for it, I might put you in jail.
You ain't gonna put me in jail.
Sam, don't give him no trouble.
You ain't.
What's going on? What's going on?
I want my $1. You killed all these people and you're going to give me that $1. I want $1. Get your $1, honey. I got my $1. All right. Way to go, Cookie.
The Gringo money, you know. You count every Gringo where my hideout is at.
Huckle, you know I don't count nothing but the
They call me kill all my men, you how you know?
No, I tell no Gringo where you hide out in Huckle.
I say if I kill my men, the rest of my men are dead.
What?
Marry? I don't marry you. You only good for one night.
One night, why, you dirty dog. I ought to take my gun and
I'll
shoot you.
I'll shoot you.
I'm gonna shoot you first. I'm gonna shoot you
I'll
first.
shoot you for sure.
Don't shoot me, I shoot you.
See you like that.
Shot me. Oh.
Hold it right there. Hold it.
Lane is loading. He's going to, of course, everyone out here. We're early in the morning. We have a few folks out to see this. Of course, they're going to have 3 performances today. And our friend James Gatlin has the balloon bag there. And what will happen, the light will come on and Lane will draw. Of course, he's shooting blanks here. And try and break that balloon. So notice he has the scoop on the bottom of his holster there for safety's sake, because you darn sure don't want the even one of the blanks going off against your leg. Okay.
That's pretty fast. You don't have time.
All right, let's see what's going to happen this time.
That's a 2-second light. Oh, there's a big cut.
Oh!
That got a little fast. 363.
36/100ths of a second. Oh,
336.
he's speeding up.
No, he can bring it right on down. I'm getting record times now. I wish I didn't shoot.
I'm going to make you back him up, though.
You got a fine gentleman over there, none other but Harold Terry himself over talking to Heather.
I'll go for it. I'm going to break the 3.
Here we go, Eddie. 3, 2, 1. Now, friends, what we have here is as accurate as possible a scenario of the OK Corral gunfight. And these people have gone to a lot of trouble to go design the skit and actually to get the words and things that just how it went. So we certainly applaud their efforts, and they're going to try to have an accurate rendition here of the OK Corral shoot.
Hey guys, what are y'all doing? Listen, we got so much bad blood between you and the earth. There's going to be gunplay, there's going to be killing.
Arm them first.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Getting harassed by them every time we walk down this street. As long as we get a little drunk and have a good time, we're hard-working cowboys, and they're out there giving us a hard time.
I know I'm trying to keep the peace. I don't want any shooting here in the town.
Well, you better disarm them.
What I'm trying to do, you guys stay here. I'm going to stop them from coming down. They've got gunplay on their mind.
Here they come.
Okay.
Go get them.
Listen, you need to stay here. Keep your... We're going to talk about there. They'll murder you.
Car going down there and disarm them, Danny.
I have this arm.
Hands up, boys. Who wants a gun? We will. Hold it. Nobody wants that. Hold it. Don't give me one.
Why? I need to see you.
Morgan!
Johnny, you threw us. I won't be arrested. That's exactly how it happened.
It's supposed to be a true story where a 15-year-old came into town, had a little something to drink, shot the dentist, and was hung all in about 5 minutes' time for the whole thing.
We will stop.
Hey, kid, what are you doing?
I'm drinking. You too little to drink. You can't be in there drinking. You're just a little kid.
I'm old enough to herd cattle. I'm old enough to drink.
You're not old enough to drink. You better take you. What are you doing?
You better shut up. I can drink if I want to.
Oh, you can't drink. Don't get that
Shut
gun.
up, y'all. Hey, what up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening here? What's going on? Hey, he killed the women. What's going on here? What happened?
Get away with it. You can't do that.
How's Dennis?
Hey, y'all aren't gonna hang that man.
We're going to hang him. He's not nothing.
We're gonna take him to a court of law.
We're fixing to hang him. If he's old enough to shoot the Dennis, he's old enough to hang.
He's old enough to this crowd. Let's go.
Hey, we're going to hang the gringo.
We aren't having anything to guilty son of a gun till we try it.
He's already been tried.
Hey, gringo.
We got 6 of them
Get that man down.
here out of the bar, and they tried him, and we're going to hang him. And if you all start anything, there's going to be more bloodshed. But this man's going to hang him.
Wrong. Today ain't gonna hang. I'm gonna do.
Don't hang him. We're gonna hang him, and we're gonna do it in a few minutes.
Don't hang him, I'm not gonna hang
You watch it, watch it. Ah, shut up and shoot, man.
Don't you start nothing.
Oh, come on. Either do something or let us do it, but shut up.
Get that rope off of him.
Hang it! Hang it! Bring him up!
Well, and it got hung anyway.
Well, you know, friends, we certainly like to have some fun on the program, and we certainly had some over at the Old West Mercantile here in Bossier, and seeing some of these things is really remarkable, because that's how some of these things that happen in our past. And again, we want to thank everyone who has helped us be on this week. It is no small miracle we're on at all this week. I want to remind you of something that we need to jump on quickly. This bill that Clinton has, this executive order to nullify the 10th Amendment. You need to call your congressman. You can do that by calling area 202-225-0600, especially call Newt Gingrich, and tell them to please make a move to stop Executive Order 13083. Again, Executive Order 13083. If the Congress does not act before August 12th, it's going to become law, friends. It's absolutely outrageous. We want to thank our support group, Dennis Crocker in South Carolina, firearms trainer. You can call him at area 864-587-8722. Custom leatherwork and saddlery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. All kinds of leather work. Our good friends Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie, area 504-667-9225. Camouflage technology to paint your gun stocks in remarkable patterns. Area 909-674-6488. Our good friends Clark Custom Guns for all kinds of work on handguns, semi-automatic 1911 types, and revolvers and 22 rifles. Their number is 318-949-9884. Our friends with the Internet Artwork Flying Horse Gallery, www.flyinghorse.net, all kinds of artwork there on the web. And our friend Bruce at BC Armory in East Leroy, Michigan, all kinds of work on revolvers and semi-automatic pistols. So his number is area 616-729-5508. Friends, it is indeed, again, serious. But you know what? How we're here today is because enough of you cared about this project and what we stand for. Because it's not about me, it's not about us here on location here, it's about what all of us are trying to do for our country. Let me tell you what, we lose these firearms and our Constitution has had it. All the other amendments, all the other provisions of the Constitution don't count if we lose our rights to own firearms. Please, if you can, friends, please help us stay on the air and reach more people. We need your help. If there's going to be a program next week, we've got to have your help. Please send whatever you can to the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Duberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. If you can help sponsor our program, give us a call, 318-377-5189. Remember our gospel show on Sunday morning, Telstar 4, Channel 23, 10:30 Eastern Time, and our radio show on the American Freedom Network on SpaceNet 4, Channel 19, 5.82 audio from noon to 2 o'clock on Sunday. We'll see you on the next program.